Hey everybody, this is Johnny Van Zandt from Leonard Skinner. You're listening to American Hearts Radio.
HarmonyBooking.com WebTv.
Hello and welcome to Remarkable Essence. I am Don Causey, your host, and I thank you so much for tuning in this evening. We have another remarkable show for you this month as we celebrate National Women's Health Month. And thank you to all of those who have supported us and that tuned in to our show on last month. And also, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers. I hope that you guys had a wonderful day yesterday. I know that I did and made sure that I had a stress-free and relaxing day, which I know most mothers like, right? And make sure you get those roses and everything else as well. Before we get started with our special guest this evening, I'd like to share with you our product of the month. And our product this month is Z Radical. This is an awesome mineral supplement that you can use on a day-to-day basis. And what it does is it helps with your cardiovascular health, your joints. It helps to give you energy. It helps with stress management. And you only have to take about 2 teaspoons a day per your weight. So if you are, say, for instance, 150 pounds, you probably have to take 2.5 ounces a day. And this particular mineral is actually based out of Antarctica. They actually have special divers that dive down and get these plants, and the minerals come from these plants called zirconium. And so this is a great mineral supplement to add to your diet. And of course, for more information, you can go to www.mysoulpurpose2.com. There you can find out more about your minerals deficiency and or find out what your mineral is that you need on a day-to-day basis. So today we have with us Dr. Melodie Billiot. She is the founder of Atlanta Health, Alternative Health. And let's take a little look at this before we have her come on up.
My name is Dr. Melodie Billiot, and I'm a chiropractor. I specialize in clinical nutrition, helping people overcome chronic health issues. What is unique about our practice is that we address causes. I would invite people to look at what is it about your life that you would like to improve? What is it about your health that makes your life a little less than what you would like it to be?
I've been a patient since September of last year. I came here because I was falling apart. I had horrible itchy rashes. My face was weepy. I went to a MD and he said, I don't know what's wrong, just here's some steroids, take them. You know, we'll probably just do this off and on for your whole life. Well, I wasn't okay with that. That's not me, but that's why I came. Here, the office staff, the doctors are above and beyond expectation. It sounds cliche, but it feels like they're family, literally. They embrace you and they tell you you're gonna get through it. They want to help.
We have a list of over 2,000 success stories. And what that means is, what is the progress that a patient's made? Whenever someone starts a program here, we set goals. What do you want to achieve with your health? Why are you here? How can we help you? When those goals are met, we document it. And that documentation becomes, in many cases, a success story.
In the waiting room, I sat next to a lady who was just beaming. And I could see by the clipboard she was writing out a success story. I just said, isn't it wonderful when you write out your success stories? And she stopped writing. She couldn't wait to tell me about how wonderful she felt. I said, how long have you been here? And she counted up and she said, this is my 8th visit. And I said, you're like this? She said, yes, you should have seen me before.
When I leave at the end of the day, I'm more energized. I feel excited because people are getting well. There is an amazing energy to that, and we have that here at the office, and it's fabulous. Be in charge of and control your health. How can you find out what you can do? Ask questions. Find out what's behind what's happening. Don't just cover up symptoms. Really address the causes and be well. Find out what that really means and achieve the quality of life that you want to achieve. And get there, because we can help you.
Dr. Billiot, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
And I apologize, I said the name of your firm.
No problem.
So it is Alternative Health Atlanta.
Yes.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right. So tell us how Alternative Health Atlanta got started here in the Marietta, Georgia area.
Well, we've been here for this year 20 years.
Wow.
And basically, I graduated from Life College, which was Life College back then. Now it's Life University.
Okay.
And I opened up a chiropractic office because I'm a chiropractor. And from working with my patients would come in to me and have issues that were very concerning to them, from female issues to digestive disorders to kids with different problems. Mm-hmm. And as a chiropractor, I was able to offer a lot of alternative type of work with their bodies to help them be well, but there were a lot of things I did not know as to why someone would have certain things, mm-hmm. why it wouldn't go away. Mm-hmm. And so those questions for my patients really bothered me. Mm-hmm. And I would see people going to their conventional doctors, coming mm-hmm. back, say for example having PMS, and coming back on maybe an antidepressant. And I started thinking, there's got to be a cause.
Yes.
Why don't I know what this is?
Yes, yes.
So as you and I were joking a little bit before we came in, sometimes the universe has a way of getting our attention.
That's true.
And I actually had some pretty severe health problems myself.
Okay.
And that's what led me to understanding or being willing to look more into why. Why would this be happening to me? What is going on that my body's not able to get on top of this and heal? And I was young. Mm-hmm. I'm a chiropractor. I wasn't someone who did anything that was, unhealthy. And so I thought, what is happening here? Yes. And so the severity of what I had health-wise led me on a very remarkable journey to find what was underneath health mm-hmm. issues. Why do people get sick? Why do they not heal when they should? Yes. And so that's basically where I found the answers to my health concerns, and the issue that I had was resolved for me in about a year, and it has never returned. Wonderful. And I think through that journey I was able to find the techniques that have helped thousands of people over this last 20 years. And I think everything that we've gone through, or I've gone through in my life, I had a child who was very, very ill and had horrible, severe allergies. So severe that we almost lost him because he couldn't eat anything. Wow. So then that led me to the next phase of my practice, mm-hmm. which is learning how to handle very, very severe allergies and eczemas in kids especially. And so that gave me a lot of in-depth understanding as to where that comes from in a tiny baby who's just born, who's done nothing that we've done. Yes. Where does that come from? Yes. Yes. So that's been, again, the silver lining in the clouds, but it does get your attention, and it does allow you to really go in and look at where are the issues and what's behind it.
That is so true, and I know that a lot of our viewers out there wonder, like you said, where does some of this come from? I eat right, I exercise, and then sometimes, boom, all out of the blue, you get this illness, right? Right. And so you talked about, I know you all talk about 99% of the health problems are chronic, mm-hmm. and that a lot of them cannot be solved by traditional doctors, that it is something that there's a root cause of what's going on. Right. How do you all go about seeking that particular root cause? I mean, what is your particular practice?
Right. Well, you're right. There are so many chronic illnesses, and you can look up the statistics with the National Institute of Health, the CDC, but basically our culture has become a culture of chronic illness. If we have an acute illness, break mm-hmm. your leg, you have a bleed, something that's needs to be sewn up, mm-hmm. that's easily handled. Mm-hmm. Our chronic illnesses, and we can probably all name them, cholesterol mm-hmm. problems, heart disease, mm-hmm. cancers, even things that are female related, mm-hmm. Postmenopausal issues, PMS, all of these things, don't have a ready medical solution in our
true.
conventional sense, right?
That's true.
So if you can solve something easily and without too much damage to the body, I'd say that's a good resolution.
Exactly, because the
you
body
know?
can heal itself.
Exactly. And so when you can't, that's where we have the chronic, where our illnesses now are managed. They're not treated, they're managed. So if you have something like diabetes, or you have heart disease, or you have high blood pressure, it's not often that people will find the underlying reason why they have that. What is the solution?
Exactly.
You know, what is it that you get if you have diabetes?
And a lot of people think it's actually handed down from generation. They think it's genetic, and it's like, no, it's really, it may be some genetics around it.
Of course. You know, we all have genetics. You know, I can look back and look at what my mom had, my grandmother had, and I can tell where those weaknesses may be. But there was a wonderful book that actually talks about, do you have to express every one of those genetic patterns? And I think not, because I think there are things that we can do with our lifestyle, with our positive thinking, with our outlook, that can really make a huge difference as to whether we actually express those or not. And those underlying issues that you mentioned can be things that were brought forward with the little kids. It can be allergies that can be genetic. It can be, but where do those allergies come from?
Exactly.
Right? Our environment is so toxic. There are chemicals, there are heavy metals that we get in our water. There's more and more and more medical drug use that we have and that are in our groundwater, that just so many things that chemicals and pesticides and plastics that our bodies were not meant to break down, and they don't break down easily. Sometimes they build up over time. So that's one of the reasons. Oftentimes people's immune systems are stressed because of the lives that we live. And we don't
tell me
get
about that.
you know. I mean, half the time we're all running. We were talking about running from here to there and everywhere. So what happens if you don't eat? Right? In those
You're
times.
right.
What happens if you don't get the right nutrients? And most of us don't, because the amount of nutrients that we need to get in our food, 5 to 7 servings of veggies and fruits. Anybody?
That's not enough.
Right? We don't get it, you know?
You're right.
So there's a lot of reasons, I think, underneath that, if you're looking for heavy metals, issues with immunity, different things like that, you're looking for something that the body's had trouble getting rid of. It's health is usually where the body's able to handle, and the body wants to be well. That's the genetic message, that the body wants to be well. It's not a gene just lying in wait for you to just do you in. And I think sometimes we get that fatalistic attitude, or we're fed that fatalistic attitude from some sources. Well, you have that gene, that's it. You just have to deal with it.
That's true. Now, you talked about your outlook and how you look at things, and we know that, of course, if you have positive energy, then usually that is a greater outlook. Like they say, people that laugh and have cancer, they've seen them heal quicker, right? Okay, so Evetics. Tell us about the Evetics therapy. I understand that that's part of your discovery, and how you brought that into the practice.
Well, Evetics is a combination of many different alternative works and therapies that work well and that are reproducible and can be used to get someone well and to move them along the path to health. So we kind of look at it like, if you go to our website, you'll see like a ray of the sun. And so coming out from that would be nutrition, clinical nutrition, homeopathic remedies, Chinese medicine, chiropractic, all these things that we have developed into a technique where you are not just a food allergy. You are not just a deficiency. And so sometimes you'll find in many different practices that there's one prism with which your body is viewed. And I realized after I started this work, when I had the blessing, if you will, of having these different things that happened to myself and my family, that there's a lot of things that different people deal with. And it's not one thing. So you asked earlier how we find out what's behind. Well, we look for issues with labs, like very specific functional labs that are different from black or white. We're looking for function of a specific part of the body. We have several different labs that show us stress on the autonomic nervous system. So those are some of the things that we're looking for. So Evetics is taking many different things and then taking whatever it is that's happening with you, locating the cause behind it, and then putting together a program that's very specific, pulling from those amazing pieces that have been there for years and years, what's going to be the best fit for you. And it's a designed program that's very specific for each patient.
That is fabulous. And I know I've been to the clinic. I've even had my children come out to the clinic to be evaluated. And so the health evaluations, what does that consist of? So if someone was to actually come, what are they expected, you know?
Well, I think that we have a nice, happy, friendly staff. So you'll be welcomed into the clinic. And basically what we're going to do is ask your body, get information from you and from your body, what is actually happening. So we start with a test called the heart rate variability. It is a wonderful test that gives us a lot of information about your nervous system. Okay. We then do a very complete health history, and then move into actually looking at different stresses that could be causing. Initially on that first visit, I want to know where are the stresses, what could possibly be behind that, and then what are we going to do? What is the path that we see that we're going to move towards?
And explain stresses, because I think some people think your stresses as in, I'm stressed out.
Like I had a stressful day.
Exactly. But no, that's not it.
Well, like we talked about, stress can magnify almost anything.
Exactly.
However, the stresses I'm talking about could be heavy metals, can be heavy chemicals, can be, say you swim. You know, my kids swim. Yes. Sometimes I have kids that swim, you know, in my practice, they have problems with the chlorine over and over and over. So it can be something in your environment. I had one lady a few weeks ago had a problem with some chemicals that she had been using in her yard. Didn't even realize, wasn't using a mask, coming back on her, and we found that when we tested what was actually behind that, and it was something she was exposed to. Something like that, maybe some long-term immune system issue that the person's had for a long time. Often we will find gut issues or allergies. You've heard this big thing about gluten, right? Sometimes people have, some people have a major issue. Some people don't have it. Some people really have it. And if they do have that sensitivity, that can be feeding into a lot of other issues that don't seem to be specifically related maybe to the small intestine or the large intestine, but it can be more far-reaching because of that kind of stress. So those are the things that cause stress on your body. And you can see them in lab reports, you can see them when you test people. So you're actually looking at what is behind that and what are those stresses, internal stresses, I guess you can say. It could be a toxic load that could be a stress, in addition to the fact that you sat in traffic for 3 hours. And you do it every day. You're right. Right? So one patient last week, he said he's been under tremendous amount of stress because his work is overseas. So he's been trying to run a group of people, losing money out the bottom for 2 years. And he's wondering why now his cholesterol's through the roof, his blood pressure's through the roof. So that just adds on to, you know, insult to injury. About that. So I think those are different stresses. So there's different things that we're looking for. We're looking for causal stresses. So like things that are in the body causing that stress. Yes.
Okay, so if people wanted to hear more about the clinic and wanted just to come visit or wanted to go to your website, where would they go?
We have a fabulous website with lots of information, plenty of links and articles, alternativehealthatlanta.com. Okay. We also have a free workshop every month. I think the next one is May 21st at the clinic, 7 o'clock. Come and learn exactly what we do, what the Evectix technique is about, how it can help you, totally free, no obligation, and we would love to have you. So you can visit the website, you can give us a call, and that is on the website, 770-937-9200, and I would be happy to talk to you or one of my staff.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again for coming out this evening, and we'll have to have you back on the show because this is just a lot.
There's a lot to talk about.
But it's good stuff.
It's great stuff. Yes, and I mean, there's so many different topics we could spend a little bit of time on that I think would be a lot of fun. But thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming again.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we have Miss Satra. And so let's take a look at this. Welcome back and greetings.
Greetings.
Thank you so much for coming.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
Thank you for having me.
This is Sobukwe-SoDaye. Did I say that?
SoDaye.
SoDaye. I knew I was going to mess it up, but she loves me. It's all out of love.
That's okay. Yeah.
And Satra has actually, we connected about 2 years ago, right? And she taught at my Essence of a Woman Health, Wellness, and Empowerment Conference, Yoni Yoga. But little did I know, Satra was more than just Yoni Yoga. She is the founder of the Yoni Steam Institute. And she has trained practitioners now across the United States. And so just tell us about what is Yoni Steam. Some people don't even know what Yoni is.
Okay.
So we might need to break it down
Okay.
and then we kind of build them up a little bit. So just tell us a little bit about it.
So the yoni is a word that I use that comes from Sanskrit that is representative of the vagina, of the womb, of the reproductive organs.
Okay.
So that's what the yoni is. And the yoni steam is a vaginal steaming practice that dates back thousands and thousands of years, that we've kind of taken those ancient healing practices and traditional healing practices and brought it into modern form.
Okay.
So at the Yoni Steam Institute, our motto is healing a million, one womb at a time. And we address it, not just the Yoni Steam is kind of a catch just to bring women in,
Yes.
but from there we address the whole body, the whole person,
Yes.
body, mind, and spirit.
Yes.
And we do that by incorporating the breathing techniques, the meditations, the
Yes.
affirmations,
Yes.
by having the sister circles so that women can express what's going on in their lives. Also with womb yoga, breathing that life into the organs of the body, in addition to the steaming itself. We bring in a lot of energetic healing work to heal not only the stresses of today's life, but even those things that may have carried over with you through your DNA and through your lineage. So we bring in Reiki and crystal therapy, and also do some touch with womb stimulation, the stimulation of the uterus, of the ovaries, fallopian tubes, and stimulate that area, as well as using clay to help to detox and draw toxins out for the woman.
Wow. And I know that a lot of women out there probably watching this show this evening don't know that you have to actually, you should massage your womb area, that
Yes.
your emotions and everything,
Yes.
the essence of your being
Yes.
comes from the
The
womb,
womb,
right?
yes.
But then you have so many women having their womb taken out at an
Exactly.
early young age.
Exactly.
So what are some of the preventative measures that you all do during your practice to try to get, you have women with fibroids, you have women with,
Yes.
all these different issues,
Yes.
occurring. What do
Yes.
you all work on as far as
Well,
that?
I'm glad that you raised that, because the womb is, we see it as the heart and the brain of the woman. It's very central to whatever. When you have pain in the heart, it's very connected to the womb. When you have a baby, the milk, the secretions, even tears are connected to the womb center, And one of the things that was very shocking to me was that over 500,000 women a year receive hysterectomy.
Yeah.
So a lot of what you get from the doctors is about, okay, they find that you have a certain condition, and a lot of the recommendation is for surgery. And there's a lot that you can do before surgery, has to be an issue for you. And so we just like to encourage women that the power is in your hands. And there's a lot, we look at nutrition. You talk about some things you can do. A lot of times it's surrounding the diet, and also bringing in the yoga and the affirmations, which is something that we have a call every Thursday that women join in on to just listen to affirmations and to participate in those affirmations. And the steaming itself is a preventative measure as well. And we, women traditionally would steam monthly after their cycles to just keep cleansed, but not only that, but for stress relief and relaxation.
Okay. Now, the actual pot that's created or that you sit on, can you just kind of describe that for those that probably have never, I know what it is because I've had a steam before, but what is that like?
Oh, okay. Okay. So the what you sit on is really like a low stool, and this stool is cushioned and it's very comfortable. We make it very comfortable for you, and as you sit over the stool, there's an opening. So that opening allows the herbs that have been put into the water to come into the uterus and to provide its benefits of toning, of strengthening. If you're dealing with any kind of condition, it may be helpful for that. So we have different formulas that we provide. We do an intake and assessment when you come in for your session, and we just determine, you know, some women, they may be going through menopause and having hot flashes. Some may have just been overstressed from their work week and want to relax. Others may have fibroids or endometriosis and different conditions of the womb, and we create a formula of herbs that have been researched to assist with those particular conditions. And so as they sit, they just receive the steam, and while they're doing that, they'll go into meditation and relax, you know, and also do their affirmations.
Now, what inspired you to start this particular journey? Because we were talking before the show, and we know that your background is social work. You have a master's in social work, and so what preempted you to go down this path?
Well, I've always worked with women. For the last 20 years. I've done women's retreats with women. In 2006, I received my holistic health counselor certification and began doing holistic health counseling with women in particular. And then going from there of doing the holistic health, I worked in the crisis center and worked with women who experienced domestic violence and rape and those different, and working in support group with those women as well. And so that was always my area, was working with women. I myself had fibroids in 2007, and then learning, you know, going to the doctor, them telling me what the solution to that was, being surgery. I just couldn't accept that, and especially being from a place of being a holistic health counselor. And so I began to look at different things that I could do, and I began looking at my diet and taking out those things that actually the fibroids feed off of, which are mucus forming products, dairy, taking the pastas out and adding more of the nutrients, more of the veggies and the whole foods. And at the time I actually was a vegetarian, but there was a certain type of lifestyle, there's a certain way that you can eat as a vegetarian that's still unhealthy. So I was an unhealthy vegetarian at that time, and so I made some better, more so vegetarian choices, because the key word in vegetarian is vegetables. And so that's one of the things, is incorporating more of that and less soy and less of those mucus forming agents, you know. And as I began to do that and also incorporate the steaming, you know, that was a natural progression to me being able to get rid of my fibroids. But from there I said, wow, you know, this makes sense to add this into the work that I already do with women. It's so powerful, it's so healing, and it gives us the opportunity and the excuse to get together and share and release, you know. And so it was just a natural progression, I would say. That brought me to this place.
Wow, that's wonderful. And so you brought some products with you this evening, and so show us what you have.
So there's a few things that we provide at the Yoni Steam Institute, and one is teas. Teas that you can drink to help with different conditions. It can help with those different conditions. This one is called Fibreeze, and it's a fibroid ease Yoni Soul tea is what we call it. And so you would take this tea, this is a 21-day supply, you would take it for 21 days, and then you would give your body a break. This one is for bacterial vaginosis, and we create teas for any womb condition that exists, and they're loose herbal teas. And so what you do is you boil your water and you put this into a tea bag, and then you place it in your cup and you drink it. And so we have those teas, and we also have gotten into the gemstone healing. This is a yoni egg, and the yoni egg goes inside of the womb, because at one point I was making waist beads with gemstones, because the gemstones have enormous healing effect, you know. And so, but now we can actually put the stone, and this is actually an ancient tradition as well, but you can put this stone inside of you and receive the benefits of the gemstone, but also it helps to improve your muscles within the uterus, and you get more familiar with the toning of the muscles. So this particular gemstone, for example, is good for calming the chakras, balancing the masculine and feminine energy, for making peaceful transitions for those who may be making transitions, for throat and lung issues, for soothing agitation and filtering your energy field.
Oh, wow.
So it's just so many benefits that come with the gemstone. So this is one thing that we provide. And we also provide the alternative to this for the men, which is the gemstone lingam rings that they can put on and also receive that gemstone healing.
Now, we're going to have to talk about that next
Okay.
month for the men. Because it's their month next month. So.
Yes, and they need it too, and we're in relationship with them.
Yes.
So if we receive all of this healing work, but then our counterpart is not, then we have,
That's
then that's imbalance, and those things can keep reoccurring.
That's true.
So yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you
this
for having
evening. And
me.
if people want to go to your website and find out more about your institute,
Yes.
the certifications that you
Yes.
have to offer, and just the overall programs that you have, what is the website?
The website is www.YONI institute.com, and you can find out about all of our services. We have a training for those who want to just steam at home and learn how to do it for themselves, and then we have a training for those who want to embark on a career as a practitioner as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much,
Thank you for
Satra.
having me.
All right. Well, this is our the end of our. Look, I can't even get it together. This has been awesome. This has been a phenomenal show. But this is the end of our show. Thank you for tuning in, and tune in next month. We'll see you then.